What is going on, guys? GregglesTV. I have the TicWatch Pro and also the Galaxy Watch. TicWatch Pro currently goes for $199 on Amazon, and the Galaxy Watch goes for about $299 on Amazon, and they're two of the most popular smartwatches available today. First, let's talk about the TicWatch Pro. You have two buttons on the side here. The one at the top is going to be like a home button, and it also brings up your app launcher where you can get access to all your apps. And then you also have this button right here, which is going to be kind of like a fitness button. It's going to bring up your fitness apps so you can go in and do your exercises and things like that if you're into that kind of thing. Swipe down from the top to get to your quick toggles. So if you want to turn it on to airplane mode because you're going to be on the airline, or if you're going to want to go into the settings, or if you want to mute the speaker or turn the speaker on, if you want to go into do not disturb mode, you can turn the screen off. And you also have Google Pay. So if you're into Google Pay, this does have NFC built into it. If you want to remove the wrist straps, you can, and get a different one on there, you definitely can. This leather one's pretty nice, actually. It feels good on your wrist, doesn't cause any irritation, and it fits really well. My wrist is pretty big, and again, it fits really nicely. As for battery life, I was getting about 1.5 days. You can get up to 2 days with this, or if you go in here and turn on Essential mode, it allows you to get up to 30 days of battery life. And basically what it does is it turns your display into an FSTN LCD display, which allows you to still see the display in high sunlight, and it shows essential information such as the time, the date, the step counter, and heart rate. So you don't get, notifications and things like that, but you can still use the watch kind of as a basic watch and to get your heart rate and things like that. As for sensors, you're getting an accelerometer, a gyroscope, magnetic sensor, heart rate sensor monitor, ambient light sensor, and low latency off-body sensor. It is Bluetooth 4.2, IP68 dust and water resistant, and the display is a 1.39 AMOLED display, 400 by 400 resolution, and again, it has that FSTN display to give you monstrous battery life. And then let's just jump around the operating system just so I can show you what's going on here. If you want to change your watch face, you can press and hold right here, and then easily change to a watch face that you want, or you can download more via the phone or via this right here. And then when you're done, you just tap on it, and then you have your new watch face that easy. Also, what you can do here, if you swipe to the right, from left to the right, you get your Google Now stuff where it's going to show you information that things you might be interested in, what's coming up on the calendar. If you swipe over from the right to the left, you can see you get some of your health information. If you hit that home button, it's going to bring you back home, or if you tap it again when you're at home, it brings you to your app launcher, and there's all kinds of apps that you can download. Just right off the bat, if you're looking for the watch with the most apps, it's definitely the TicOS watch app. It has tons of apps because the Google Play Store is so much bigger than the Samsung one. So if you're all about the apps, make sure you use this watch for sure. And then sitting on your wrist, it does sit up a little bit higher than the Samsung watch. So if that's a problem for you, just keep that in mind. It does sit up slightly higher than the Samsung, but otherwise it's very comfortable. It's easy to use. Overall, you don't really get that much lag. It's pretty smooth. Once in a while, you'll get like a little tiny hiccup, but otherwise the performance is pretty darn good with this TicWatch Pro. Next up, we have the Galaxy Watch, which goes for about $300, and the watch itself, you can see, has a kind of silicone strap. So if you like silicone, you're gonna love it. I don't love silicone, so these silicone straps kind of just bother me ever so slightly, but you can remove the strap if you want and put basically whatever strap you want on this watch. As for sensors on the watch, you get an accelerometer, barometer, gyro sensor, heart rate sense monitor, and a light sensor on here. The display on here is a 1.3-inch Super AMOLED 360 by 360 display. Now the display is lower resolution, but it does have the Super AMOLED display, so the display just looks slightly better on here than on the TicWatch Pro. You just get deeper, richer colors on the Samsung watch. And then let's jump around the operating system. So the way you can navigate by spinning the wheel on this watch, left or right, wherever you want. You can also use your finger and just go on the screen if you want. And then if you go, let's hit the back home button right there. So if you bring you to the main screen here, if you want to press and hold, you can go in here and change the watch face, similar, basically exactly the way you would do it on your other watch here, the TicWatch Pro. And then once you find one you like, you just tap on it. If this is going to be your back button. It's also, if you press and hold it, it's going to bring up Samsung Pay. So if you want to use Samsung Pay. Then at the bottom here, you have your recent apps button. It'll bring up all your apps that you have for yourself that you've either recently opened, or you can look at all your apps and just select it and go into it. If you press from the left to the right, it's going to bring up your notifications. So if you have any notifications, they'll show up right here, and you can respond just like you could on the TicWatch Pro with your voice if you want, or using some kind of keyboard typing in there as well. Swiping down from the top is going to bring down your quick toggles. So if you want to go in there and turn on airplane mode, or reduce the brightness or the speaker, or go into your settings, that's easily accessible that way. And then swiping in from the right to the left is bringing up like widgets, so like quick access to different things on here, such as your health or whatever. And you can remove these things too if you press and hold. You can hit that little minus sign and that'll get rid of it. Or if you want to add more, just go to the very end and hit this plus sign, and you can add kind of whatever you want, an app or a calendar, or like I said, pretty much anything that you want in here to be able to get access to it. The other big thing about this watch is it's swim ready. So if you want to go swimming with this watch, you can. You can't really say that about the TicWatch Pro. TicWatch Pro can go underwater for about 5 feet, 30 minutes. And then also the way it sits on your wrist, it's a little bit more flush than the TicWatch Pro, but regardless, they both fit really nice. They feel really nice, and they're just really cool watches. So the TicWatch Pro pretty much can do everything that the Galaxy Watch can, and some other things. So it has more apps for sure, without a doubt. So if you're a big app person, definitely go with the TicWatch Pro. You can have the Play Store right here and download thousands of apps at your fingertips really easily. And they're cool apps too. If you're big into the Google ecosystem, it has Google Assistant built into it, so you can control your smart devices and turn it off with your wristwatch. How cool is that? It also has the Google apps on here, such as Google Pay, Keep Notes, Android Messages. It has Facebook Messenger. It has the Nest app, the phone app, reminders. It's just tons of cool apps. You can control your Spotify. And then all the basic stuff like stopwatch and pretty much anything. Add an Uber from your wrist. It just has basically any app that you could probably want on here in terms of on your wrist. It definitely can do it, and the watch just works great overall. And the Samsung watch is cool because you have this little spin wheel that allows you to rotate through the operating system and not put your finger on the screen at all for the most part, and just be able to navigate really quickly. There's no lag in this at all. It's a really smooth watch. It's a beautiful watch. It's really easy to use as well, and and does still have a good amount of apps on here. So if you like apps, you're not going to be disappointed. It has all the cool Samsung apps, and then you can also download a bunch of third-party apps. Just not as many as the TicWatch Pro, but again, it still has a good amount of apps on here. Plus, if you're a swimmer, you're definitely going to use the Samsung watch as well. So regardless of which watch you use, you're going to love both of these watches. They're both fantastic and they work great. So I'll link them both down below. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I'll see you guys down the road. Peace!